Friends, good morning. It's good to be back with you here celebrating Daily Mass. I missed you over the last 2 weeks. Daily Mass crowd? I missed this crowd. So, today we celebrate the feast of St. Clare of Assisi. I've loved St. Clare of Assisi for many, many years, for a long time, partly because going back to when I was in Borromeo Seminary, I had the opportunity to go to Italy at the end of a fall semester, and I went to Assisi, went to see the tomb of St. Francis, tomb of St. Clare, and I had this encounter with this old Franciscan friar who just saw me praying by Clare's tomb, and he handed me this little envelope, and inside the envelope, I didn't know what was inside the envelope, but on the outside it said, Polvo della tomba de Santa Chiara, and I was like, I don't know what this is really cool though, so I kept it. And I asked someone who spoke Italian, I said, what does this mean? They said, it means dust from the tomb of St. Clare. And I was like, whoa. So I've had dust from Clare's tomb in my Bible for many years. So I guess that means that's pretty special. But anyway, so this woman, she was the counterpart of St. Francis of Assisi. These two together, these were the ones who the Lord in so many ways used to bring the medieval church back to life, to bring the church back into line with Jesus' dream for his church. And there always seems to be, in the history of the church, there always seems to be this masculine-feminine duality that you just see throughout the whole history of the church. You've got Francis and Clare, you've got Benedict and Scholastica, you've got Francis de Sales and St. Jane de Chantal, you've got St. Claude Colombière and Margaret Mary Alacoque. Think of Augustine and Monica. Or here in our own country, they're not yet canonized saints yet, but think of Archbishop Fulton Sheen, think of Mother Angelica, these two media giants who were responsible for kind of launching the new media, new evangelization in our own country. Or think about St. John Paul II and his dear lifelong friend, Anna Teresa Tiaminechka. Like there always seems to be these pairings of masculinity and femininity modeling, if you will, the new Adam and the new Eve, Christ and his mother Mary. Anyway, that's Clare and Francis. Clare, she met Francis as this young teenager, and as a result of being so pierced, so moved by his preaching, at 15 years old, she refused to settle down and be married off by her father. She felt so claimed by Christ already at 15 years old, but fast forward to when she's 18, she escaped her father's house at night. She ran away. She basically ran into some of Francis's friars on the road, and they took her to a little chapel known as the Porziuncula. The Porziuncula. And it's in the Porziuncula, this little chapel, where Clare, she got rid of her finery, her beautiful gowns, this jeweled belt. She replaced all of it with this brown woolen cloak. She replaced the jeweled belt with the very simple Franciscan rope, and it was there that she submitted her hair to Francis's scissors, and she allowed him to just remove her hair and put on the veil. Like, I guess the question is, like, why would someone do such a thing? She was wildly in love, is the answer. That's what happened. Love pushes us to do extravagant things for the beloved. Think of that woman in the gospel who comes to Jesus before his passion, and she takes that jar of alabaster nard, costly perfumed oil, like several years' wages worth of oil, and she breaks the jar and pours the whole contents on Jesus' head. And it's Judas, of course, who's the one who said, we should have done something practical with this. Should have sold this and given the money to the poor. And Jesus praises the lavishness, right? That's what Clare did. She broke the jar of her life and she pours it all over Jesus. She gave him everything that she had in response to him giving everything he has and is to her. Right? That's what we're hearing in this gospel. That's what's filling the apostles with grief. The Son of Man is to be handed over to men, totally given. Clare responds by totally giving herself. So after the tonsure, after her hair is cut, Francis places her in the custody of a Benedictine convent. Her father and her brothers discover that this is where she is, And picture this. In the middle of the night, her father and brothers and other men storm this Benedictine monastery, this Benedictine convent, like this military operation. They storm the convent. They're looking for Clare. And what is she doing? She's holding on to the base of the altar, clutching the base of the altar, refusing to go anywhere. This is a wild, wild woman. A few days later, they relented. They said, fine, stay here. 16 days later, Sister Agnes joined her. And then others came, and others continued to come. And throughout the whole long history of the church, the centuries since, so many women have joined this abbess of poverty, Clare of Assisi. We've got in our own diocese, we got the poor Clares who, I'm pretty sure they just hold up the world through their intercession, these cloistered Carmelites, or these cloistered nuns. Amazing, amazing women. So this community of women, they joined her, and they lived this life of extreme austerity and poverty, total seclusion from the world in this monastery of San Damiano. It's the same chapel where Francis came and he sees that image of the crucifix, that icon crucifix, and the Lord spoke to Francis from the crucifix, Francis, rebuild my church, which, as you can see, is in ruins, right? It's the same chapel. That's where Clare and her sisters were. Here's where I want to just get us to reflect. Here's what my heart has been wondering and thinking about in light of Clare and her feast day. I guess it's this. Where are the wild lovers of Jesus today? Where are the ones who are burning for him today? Where are the reckless ones, the prodigal ones? Where are the ones who are breaking the alabaster jars of their lives and spilling the contents out on Jesus, wasting their lives on him, giving him everything? It was G.K. Chesterton who said beautifully, brilliantly one time, he said, let your religion be less of a theory and more of a love affair. Let your religion be less of a theory and more of a love affair. Let it be this passionate, romantic dance. Clare, just like Francis, her father, Clare was this seraphic one. She was burning. She let her heart and her life and her time, everything, be consumed by him and for him. Where are the wild lovers of Jesus today? This is a grace we should ask for. A grace we should ask for ourselves, and we should ask for from within our parish. That this parish would be a seedbed where young men, young women see in Jesus the one who would be totally worthy of my life, to give him everything. I'd love for us to be less calculated and casual and to be more Clare-like. To be more Clare-like. Amen.